And how's the quality? Amir? Hello? Hi, Amir.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Amir? Hello? Hello, Amir? Hi, Amir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, how's the quality right now? Because it was, I don't know if you were re-recording or this is re-recording, something's up.
No, the quality is good.
Everything.
We got disconnected for a few seconds.
Okay. Can you, all right, let me see, because we started doing the live stream shutdown. Is there any way you can get restream happening? Because it tells me that it's shut down.
Let me check. No, I cannot do it on my side.
Okay, so if everyone just be patient with me for a moment. I need to get one of the our applications going. So live. Okay, it's happening. It looks like it's happening. I think. Let's see. Good. We're live. All right. Looks like existence is cooperating and wants it to happen. Very good. Cool. Well, welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm your host, Zarathustra, broadcasting from Tulum, Mexico. Well, it's nice to see everybody, and it's nice to come back together and into this unified field of oneness, is connecting the hearts and our minds to a central point, and that is a common goal that we all have. All beings in the universe want to be happy. Every being, their nature is to want to basically be happy. And where we get into trouble is that the way we try to find happiness, it could be twisted. Or where we discover, where we point our finger at what is happiness, that could be deceiving to ourselves, because we're looking for happiness in acquiring objects and missing out the point that the true happiness is elsewhere. But all beings in the universe want to be happy. So now we're here together aiming at one point, and to be free, to come to liberation. We are going to do a meditation as always, and after the meditation I'll get into the topic of the day. But for the moment, I just want to quickly announce that I'm having two events coming. Having a workshop, a 3-day online workshop, which is going to be starting as of Friday. It's called Return to the Infinite Wisdom. And I'm just going to get into it a little bit more later on today and explain you what's in there for you. And I'm very excited to announce that I'm able to come to Sweden, to Ore, and we're going to have our 5th annual 5D Quantum Awareness Retreat in this magical, amazing place in Sweden, in Ore, Sweden, this um, mountaineer resort that we've been going there. So that's going to give us a chance to come together and sit together and dive into the unified field and get into this vortex of receiving transmission, the divine transmission, positioning ourselves in a situation that the chances of awakening and the chances of realization increases by entering into the vortex. So, I mean, that's all one can do by positioning themselves in the right place. For the moment, let's take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Kind of dive within yourself. Shift your attention inwards. Bring your attention, bring your focus towards where your thoughts are coming from. Instead of trying to stop your thoughts, look within, follow your thoughts, and see where do they come from. Where do your thoughts come from? And for most people, the mind will become quiet. When you follow your thoughts to the source, your mind becomes quiet. And just relax into this space. Don't fight it. Allow meditation to present itself. Allow meditation to take over without trying to make it happen. Dive in there. Allow, don't fight. Keep your attention on one point. If thoughts do arise, if they show up, you simply follow them to where they come from.
Recording in progress.
Slowly, slowly come back. Come back here. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly come back. Bring your attention back from inside to outside. Slowly, slowly. Can you hear me? No, doesn't look like. Elijah, can you hear me? You can? Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I hear you clearly.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. Amir, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Did you shift the screen to, did you pin me? Is this what you did? Because the screen is shifting from the gallery to pinning on me. So I want to know if you're doing
Yes,
it.
I pinged you. Yeah,
Oh, you're
you
doing
keep
it.
disconnecting, that's why.
Say that again?
You keep disconnecting, that's why the ping goes away.
Right, yeah. You know what I did is I turned off the two phones, And I didn't realize there was another phone here connected, so I got rid of that one, and then I put my normal cell phone on cellular instead of our Wi-Fi.
Right. Yeah, your internet is good now.
Okay, good. So I'm going to go back to the gallery, okay? If it does interfere, let me know.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
okay.
What happened for me is, as I'm going forward into this exploration of consciousness, whether you are paying attention to it or it's just happening, you're living your life, you're living your daily life, but awareness has come into your daily life. Means you have come to where you're at right now. You pay attention, you are seeking, you're checking out different teachers, teachings, you're reading spiritual books, you're meditating, you're doing like different stuff like breath work, or going to shamanic healing events, or you're trying to become a healer or channeler. You are seeking. And some, or I would say a big portion of us, we go into this seeking because something inside us definitely not happy, and we're suffering. There's suffering from something. And when I say suffering, is I'm not talking about they got you in a dungeon and they're torturing you physically. What I'm saying is we're suffering inside. It's an emotional suffering. It's a mental suffering. Suffering such as worrying about future, regrets of the past, not knowing what this unstable future is going to bring, what's going to happen to me, what's going to happen in the world, and or pain, inner pain, of pain such as loss of, you lost your beloved, your son, your daughter, your husband, father, mother, you lost your job or your pet, but you're suffering for something, or you're feeling lonely, or loneliness is a bad disease. It's a disease. Or you're going to this state of, I'm not good enough. I'm not being loved. Haven't found my lover. Nobody wants to be with me. Whatever it is something inside is triggering, and it leads you to suffer. Whether it's jealousy, whether it's anger, and everybody's got their own thing, or maybe a bunch of different things simultaneously happening. Maybe you're suffering from your childhood, that you were abandoned, your daddy left, mom left, and so every time somebody leaves you, it triggers that part within you. So what happened for me is, as I went forward just living life, ordinary life, and of course awareness came into it, and now there is a sort of self-awakening. There's a sort of mechanism that is pushing you to look for answers of life. You want to know these things, and also you may ask yourself, well, who am I? What am I doing on this planet? What's the point being here? Is it just to be born, grow up, get married, reproduce children, live a miserable life, go through divorce, be single, and Die? I mean, is this like, because that's what's happening to most of people on the planet. Or go to war and kill other people, or be angry, or being fearful all of my life. What's the point of this life? And then where am I going to go after I die? What will happen to me? What becomes of me after I die? Where am I going to go? And of course, the old narrative is about heaven and hell. I mean, it's a fairy tale, you know, the whole thing. But anyway, and on top of it, majority of us are suffering from lack of having sex. Sexuality is twisted. So we have been deprived from intimacy, basically culturally all over the world. And we're having sexual dysfunctions too. So all of these things are combined, are happening simultaneously. That's what's going on. Now, somebody maybe to some degree is suffering more from this and less from this. It doesn't matter. We all got something here. So what happened for me was, as I went forward in this process, and I realized that through the grace of my teacher, that I need to go beyond the mind. I need to become quiet. And the more I became quiet, the more I learned that, the more I worked on it, of creating a system that works for me and not activating my mind so much with the news or blah, 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 and the noise, and learning to go inwards and finding this quiet place within myself, being silent, being quiet. And through this being quiet, also I started to realize that stop knowing things, stop like learning stuff, stop like reading all these spiritual things or reading all these things about a lot of stuff in the world. It's okay to read it, it's okay to accomplish it, but not overloading myself with a lot of knowledge, a lot of information that is not my own discovery. And the more I looked at this part, the more I realized that 99% or 98% of everything I think I know, it's borrowed information. It's all borrowed information. It's information that I've read somewhere or somebody have told me, and I'm accepting it as truth. But it's not my own discovery. I have not found that out on my own. And I touched on this briefly last week. I mentioned, like, for example, it is just an example, that they say the planet Earth is round. And we all accept it. But none of us has ever examined it, questioned it, whether it's true or not. I don't know of anybody who has gone around the planet Earth once or twice and discovered that, oh, it's really round. I went around it. I walked around it. I took a boat around it. I drove around it, and it's really round. And I don't know of anybody who got in a spaceship that went outside of the planet to visually inspect it and say, okay, it's round. Okay? Are we here together? Yes? So we're accepting an information given to us that the planet is round. So we're accepting it. But it's not I did not find this on my own. So it's not my knowing, it's knowledge. Then I may go and in National Geography magazine, and I read about animals in Africa, animals in maybe Australia. I may just pick up a scientific magazine and read about a lot of different things, that how they're building the new drones or planes or travel ways with different kind of airplanes. So I learn about it. I learn all this, I get all this information of how they make it, how it works. But it's not something I have discovered on my own. It's not my knowing, it's knowledge that I've discovered. And I accept it. But what again happened to me is I got to a point in my spiritual awakening that I realized, wait a minute, I need to decline, reject everything that I have read or I've been taught about, and just hang in to what I really know myself, what I have discovered myself. And when I separated the two from each other, I realized that I only know very, very little. I know this much, little bit, very little that I know. The rest is information that I've acquired throughout the years, from books, from school, from my family, friends, internet, here and there, TV. It's not my discovery. I didn't discover it myself. So, when you give yourself an opportunity, you realize this point, you realize this, and you're honest with yourself, because remember, the goal is to come to happiness, and the goal is to be liberated, liberation. And the goal is to come to this place that you have inner peace. Inside of you is quiet and it's at peace with itself. You have discovered this deep peace within, which when you do, self-love and the presence of Her Majesty do appear automatically, because they're all connected. Is that I said to myself, okay, I really don't know any of these things. I'm here, hit me. I'm available. I don't know anything. And when I came to this, a phenomena starts to take place, which I call wisdom. Because first, you're getting rid of all this blah, blah, blah information, whatever the information is. Whatever the information is, you get rid of it. And you become a childlike, like, I really don't know. And then wisdom, the infinite wisdom, the wisdom of Her Majesty, the infinite, begin to pour in. Not as information, not as knowledge, but as knowing. Existence begins to download the knowing of how the existence been constructed, how this is working. What is your role here on this planet? Where are you going to go after here? What are you doing here? These things, by allowing yourself and by positioning yourself, you have to be positioned in the right place. then they start to click, it starts to come. All of a sudden, you start to have visions or know how of the energy system, how this works. You slowly start understanding that there is no separation. And this is very important because this is the direction we're going to fifth dimension. If we're transitioning to fifth dimension, and if you have noticed, I don't use the four words fifth dimension very often because I don't want to ruin it as it's being ruined. Like how much everyone talks about psychic or Reiki or some words, love, they've been ruined because they've been used so much in the wrong way. So, if I'm interested to enter into this divine wisdom and come to this noha, the knowing, then I got to get rid of whatever I think I know, stuff that I've been taught, not that stuff I discovered, stuff that I've accumulated. Every time I sit down and I talk to some people who are in spirituality and they like a parrot. And almost everybody is telling the same narrative, especially these days with pseudo spirituality. Yeah, you're the creator of your reality and you create and your thoughts manifest, and it's like a robot talking. You know, I can hear a robot. You put like a couple quarters in it and you press the button and the robot starts talking. And it's the same narratives coming out. I'm just looking at it, and these are spiritual people. They meditate, they eat very well, they wear all the good gadgets, you know, the costumes, you know, meditation, spiritual costumes are there, you know, and but it's like a robot. And there's no difference between them and the people who are into terrorism or the people who are eating McDonald's and the people who are shitting all over the world and destroying the world with toxic waste. There's no difference. They're both unconscious, deeply unconscious. It's just the matter of the appearance. One appears to be spiritual and the other one is itself totally unconscious, but they're both in the same boat. Because both of them don't know anything. And that's not how you're going to become free. To become free, you have to come to this place which requires humility and dropping all of these ideas that we have. Everything flushes in the toilet unless it's your own realization. You have come to that understanding yourself. If you have discovered it yourself, keep it. If not, get rid of it. And be humble enough to say, I don't know. I just don't know. And I'm not saying you need to walk around the street and telling people I don't know. I'm saying that you're honest with yourself. You say, you know what? I really don't know. Okay, teach me. Tell me, how is this working? How do I get to it? What do I need to do? So when you empty yourself, So you get rid of the garbage. Now there is space. Space opens up. And the wisdom starts to pour in. It comes in. It's different than what we've been conditioned all of our lives. All of our lives, we've been conditioned, especially if you're from the Western world, that it's all about do. You got to do this. You have to do this. You have to go out there and accomplish it. You have to study it. You have to practice all the time. This is different. It's like you need to learn a dance. This is a dance with the existence. It's not practice and go getting it, but it's also not doing anything and not practicing it. It's somewhere in between. So it's something, maybe your teacher is pointing out where it is, but this is something you have to figure it out yourself. There's no formula. Here's a formula, but it's not black and white. It's not A, B, C, D. One of my students contacted me and wants to come to Ore and wanted to know every single detail of arriving to Sweden, how to get from the airport to Ore, to Bustaman, whether taking a train or being picked up in a car or flying there, and was asking me, oh, is there a group driving up there? Can I come with anybody when they're driving up from Stockholm to Ore? And I was like, you know what, sweetheart? I don't know yet. Let's see who's coming, how it's working. And I'm going to hook you up, and we're going to make sure that you have an easy way to get to Bustaman. But right now, I don't know, because I don't know who else is coming and how they're getting there, or someone's driving a car or taking a train. Let's just wait. Don't panic. You commit on coming to Ore, do your registration, get your flight to Stockholm, and let's wait. The details are all going to come together. Just hang in there. What I'm saying is, the mind wants to know, okay, so when we get there, what do we do? What is the teaching? What are you going to teach the first day? What are we going to learn by the second day? See, the mind, I mean, it is valid. I agree. Okay, what am I going to learn? I understand that. Why would I come all the way up there, and what am I going to get? I get it. But certain things are not explainable. Because this is magic. We're entering, when you come to Ore, we're coming to this retreat. It's not like you're going to study physics and everything is structured, or it's mathematics, or it's chemistry, or it's a medicine, and there is like a booklet that you're going to learn this and you're going to learn that, and then you go to the lab. This is a mystery school. It's entering into the mystery school. And a big part of the mystery school is we have no idea. We don't know. Means one of the biggest things you have to do is that I don't know, something tells me I need to be there and go sit with Zarathustra and the rest of our beloved friends. And he doesn't tell me what I'm going to learn, but I just know I need to be there. Because this is the path of the heart. If I tell you, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn that, you're going to do that, then this is a mental. It's a mind. We are trying to learn to switch from the mind to the heart. This is a journey from the mind to the heart. Something inside you feels like I need to be there because something very important is going to happen there. Something's going to explode in this place, and I need to be there. But they don't tell me what that is going to be. They don't tell you what that's going to be because nobody knows what it's going to be. I don't know what God has planned for us. But I know I want to be there because I know something's going to happen. I'm going to get something very worthy out of this. It's going to shift my consciousness to another level, but I don't know how or what. Mystery school is not calculation. It's not like you're in Frankfurt going to take this train to this place, and from here you take another train to this other place, and from here you get to the airport, and then your flight is going to be at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not written like that. It doesn't work that way. It's based on your intuition. You trust it. And you go, but you don't know, and it can be horrible. It may not be good for you. It may be a very bad decision. We don't know. But something inside you is saying, go. I gotta be there. I need to be there in that vortex. Something's cooking. And that's where wisdom is coming in. Because you're shifting the way you're operating your life from analytical thinking to simply being. And you're in a very pivotal point of the human history because that analytical thinking is going downhill. That world, that way of being is dying. It's the end of humanity who is operating in that way because it's coming from separation. It's not coming out of love. It's not coming from wisdom. It's coming from the others and them and hate and manipulation. Look at what's going on right now. Just look. All the indications that are in the planet, what are these indications? They're pointing out to where? Like the US and the West are heavily blaming Russia. And if you're on that side, they're blaming this side. And all of it is manipulation. All of it is to jack up the prices of the oil. All of it is take control of some areas. It's none of it is coming from the heart. It's all creating separation, hating each other, being afraid of each other. And you can't go to fifth dimension. You cannot reach a higher level of consciousness if you have not developed spiritual wisdom. And in order to develop spiritual wisdom, A is you have to be empty. You got to get rid of all this nonsense that you think you know. You think it's the truth. And be humble, bow at the presence of Her Majesty, and say, okay, teach me. Lord, teach me. I don't know anything. Show me the way. Lead me to yourself. Lead me to the love. Lead me to the path of oneness. And then, phew, they throw a pearl at you. All of a sudden, in the meditation, you're sitting and you're by yourself, you're going for a hike, you're in a moment of contemplation, a realization arrives. You realize something. And then you come back and re-listen to these videos, and then all of a sudden you start understanding so much of the talks that you couldn't understand it before. Things start to come together. But that's one part of it. Another part of it is because it's all itself, it's all the oneness. The more you begin to understand it's the oneness itself, the more you're around people who are supporting this way of being, supporting the wisdom, people who have come to the wisdom, they're reflecting back to you regularly, Baba, my brother, my sister, this is yourself. This is yourself. The more that gets reflected to you, the more you get centered, because there is no others. They don't exist. The more your vibration starts to rise to the fifth dimensional vibrational frequency, because you are slowly detaching yourself and freeing yourself from the idea and the illusion that there is separation. So expansion starts to happen. As expansion starts to happen, the presence of God gets stronger in your life. You can feel the presence. And then the presence carries you. Oh my God, God is here. God is here. Nothing can harm me because God is here. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. Yes, I'm going to go. And everything will come together. The inner trust starts to get stronger and stronger. Of course, everything's going to come together, because that's how it works. But the analytical mind, the Western mind, wants to know everything. Oh, but what is going to be like this and that, So you're on your own way. You're shooting yourself in your foot. And I know this is a huge transition for some of you. This is a major transition. But you're not going to be able to go to the next level of consciousness if you're trying to understand things with your mind. You got to let that go. Because that's not how it works. There is something else here. You need to learn, allow yourself to tap into this other wisdom, because it's First of all, it doesn't require your memory memorizing things, because you've been memorizing things all your life. Constantly we're memorizing things. But when you know something, you don't need to memorize it. Do you need to memorize how to drive a car when you've been driving it for 20 years? There's no memorizing. You already know it. Same thing here with spiritual wisdom. Spiritual wisdom gets downloaded to the very core of your being. You know it 100%. There's no ifs or buts. And then the wisdom takes over. And people will come and tell you, huh? Because you're calm, you're collected, all of a sudden you're not just reacting to everything. You're not getting scared with this. You're not getting angry over this. Something goes wrong. People around you are becoming very reactive, but you're just like, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then all of a sudden the situation fixes itself and you did not react to it. You stayed wise and calm, and all of a sudden the situation works in your benefit. But maybe if you reacted it, you would piss off somebody in your reaction. You had to bark at someone, tell them something, and then you had a mess. But you didn't say anything. You were just like, wise, quiet, still. And then the situation solved itself. I cannot teach this in a matter of language. I have to create environment for you to come to it yourself. That's why it's important that we come together, because some things you just can't teach it. It doesn't work. So when we come together here, like at the academy, you've already put away your life for 2 hours and you're here, you're available. You gave yourself an opportunity and you created the environment so a shift can take place. So you put yourself in that position. But not always things make sense. What does Zarathustra mean we're all one? What does he say? What does he mean by it's all yourself? You may hear these words and they sound great and you want to be like that, but you're not living it like that. You're not feeling it every moment in your life. You may talk to your friend and say, yes, it's all one, everything's ourselves, but still it's knowledge. It's not your knowing. You're not living it. You want to come to the point in your life to live it. And that's the wisdom to come in. And then you enter into the fifth dimensional realm of consciousness when it's all one. And this requires the school of mysticism. School of mysticism. Very, very different than anything else. Other things are mindy. This is not mindy. It may not make sense to the mind, but it makes sense to your heart. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to strengthening that part of you which is already there, which it knows. But we have to align that with yourself so you start to trust it. Because if you don't, you keep just running around, banging your head against this wall and that wall and that wall because you're following your mind. And a lot of people around you, they're mindy. They're very mindy. But that's your way out. Now, especially with what's going on, that's your way out. The shift from the head to the heart. And operating from that place. And using your intelligence, of course. But understanding it, coming to that understanding. Because the moment you come outside of here, outside of this space, which is in your own heart, and you go into the world, it's frightening. It gets very scary. With the corona, with the war, with all the future stuff, with the oil prices going up, it's very scary. That's why you come back here. Come back to the heart, come back to the center. Keep creating the environment that you can stay in your own center. Whether we're together here, or we're on an online workshop, or we see each other in Ore, coming, helping you to recognize this place, the magic within yourself, that you actually entered into a school of mysticism. And the school of mysticism, the rules are different. Things happen differently. There are steps to go. But every step leads you to freedom. Every step takes you to this place that the quality of your life gets better and better. Because you're freeing yourself from ideas, freeing yourself from the fear and worry by diving into your heart and by recognizing that there is no world that's disconnected from you. And every time that helps you come back into the center and puts a smile on your face, because you know when you look in here, all is well. Because you've discovered it within. So, you have any questions or comments for me? Yeah, hi Candace.
Hi, sorry I stopped the video by mistake earlier.
Oh, it's okay, it happens.
Yeah, I clicked on the wrong button. So I wanted to ask you about why are we so attracted to certain people and dislike others?
Right. I think, I don't know if you listened to me in my video last week. I think I got into it.
I did, you raised the question, but I missed the answer.
Right.
Now.
It's a natural, I mean, there's a number of different things, okay? And there's different explanations to it. It's a part of it is our genetic makeups. It's a predisposition, genetic makeup that we're born with, that we're simply attracted to certain smells, sounds, colors, bodies, ways that we're attracted to that. And it's just already there. That's how we were born. Like, I sometimes I was talking to one of my girlfriends the other day, and she was saying, I said, do you like American guys? And she was saying she's American. She said, I'm not into American guys. I'm not into these white guys wearing a baseball cap with shorts and a t-shirt. I always liked exotic looking guys. Why? It's just, that's how she likes it. That's what she's attracted to. And there's nothing right or wrong about it. It's just the way it is. Or personally, I like warm weather. From childhood, I didn't really like winters. I mean, I like playing with snow and everything, but my hands and my feet would extremely get cold. And I was always struggling with cold weather. And I started to get older, it started to get worse. It's just a genetic thing. It's already built inside us from the beginning, being attracted. And of course, as you get older, like I know, and it's funny because I'm teaching and I'm talking most of the time, but generally, when I'm in a place, I don't talk very much in general. Generally, I'm quiet. Sometimes maybe I'm in a party and I become talkative, but most of the time I don't talk a lot. And there, sometimes I come across people that they're talking a lot, and I can't be around them. They drive me crazy. Energy. So I kind of get away and change the scenery. It's changed. Maybe 20 years ago I was okay with it, but now I've come to this point, like I don't have a lot of tolerance. Or if I'm in Tulum, I go to different restaurants, cafes, and sometimes I walk into this cafe, I sit down, and they have this music, or they start playing some music because they see a Westerner came and sat there and they just want to impress you, and they play this music, and it's like all of a sudden, oh, I can't stand this. I ask him to shut it off, or I just get up and go somewhere else because just the sound is bothering me. It's like, okay, I want to go find something quiet. But I wasn't like this 20, 30 years ago. I've changed. So it's just a resonance. Or why do we like each other? I mean, some of you I've known for 10 years, 8, 10 years. And there's, why do you like me? There's a resonance with us, something. When we see each other, there's a smile on our face. There's a deep feeling of love and trust. I don't know why, it just happens. It's a resonance that we have.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery, exactly. It is a mystery. That's true. Yeah, nice seeing you and welcome back. Hi, Shadi. You had a question for me? Hi.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I have two questions. One refers back to last week. I think it was last week, or I don't know when you mentioned the whole thing about going beyond the morals and all of that stuff of what's right and what's wrong and all that stuff. But then when you're in everyday life and you're dealing with circumstances and people, how can you go beyond morals and not like get yourself like in trouble? Like I know like to see beyond that, like beyond the thought, beyond this, beyond that. But then you're actually around people and then there's certain expectations. And then you don't want to have. So that's one, but I don't know if I asked the question correctly.
Well,
the second one.
Yeah, okay. So let me answer the first one and then we get to the second one. Is that cool?
Well, they sort of are together. But
okay, go ahead. Then I'll listen.
Yeah, so then the second one would be, for example, like say there's just somebody and you're just saying everything that you are is we're all one, right? So keep that in mind when I'm asking this question. So then there's people around you, or there's one or two people that you can't stand anymore. And then you just don't want to be rude at the same time by being like not, like for example, whatever. And then you just don't really want to have them anymore around. But then at the same time, how do you just change that situation if you also don't want to be rude? But then if you don't want to be rude, you're caught into this whole moral thing.
Okay. So.
And then it's a mirror of me. So I'm basically talking to me about something that's happening outside that must be in, like the whole thing. It's like, yeah, if you could clarify that.
Okay, what was the first part?
The first part was the moral. How do you go beyond the morals of right and wrong?
That's where, right.
Living in a place that's all
right.
about that.
Right. That's why, first of all, that's where the wisdom comes in, the wisdom. When I say wisdom, okay, because I remember back in the day, we were with Papaji, and Papaji used to say, for 3 days, he started saying this. And every time he said it, I don't know why, somehow he would turn around and look at me. And, excuse me. And for 3 days, he was saying this, three different occasions. And I'm hiding out somewhere behind because I was scared of him, that he's mad at me. And I'm kind of hiding out, trying not to have an eye contact. But one of the times I'm just kind of looking, and he straight with those piercing eyes look into my eyes, and it's like laser beam is coming. And he says, be like a lion. where the lion goes, he cuts his own path. Don't follow anybody. Like the lion in the jungle is not, the lion is not going following anybody else's route. It just goes wherever it goes. And whatever it does and whichever direction it goes, it creates its own new path. Okay? And then they ask him about, for an awakened being, whether an enlightened being has a code of conduct. And I remember it was very clear about it. It was saying the awakened being, enlightened beings, they follow their heart because they're operating from their intuition, powerful intuition. So what's moral for somebody, and that is the way, but they may just break that rule and do their own thing, which it could be appropriate for them, but it's inappropriate for other people. Let me give you an example, okay, to make it a little bit more clear. And I'll get back to the second part of your question too. I was at John of God in Abajania. I lived there for 6 months. And there was a waterfall. We lived in this village. If you walked for 10 minutes, and then you would get to this waterfall, and that was a spiritual waterfall, according to John of God. And you were not allowed to go to this spiritual waterfall without permission of John of God. That was a part of the deal. So you would have to go to see John of God, and it's not like any moment you want, you go see him. He was only doing the casa, they call it, 3 days a week. So you had to go wait in these lines, long lines, and go see John of God, who was the entity. And then John of God would give you a prescription on a piece of paper. He would write down for you 10 waterfall or 6 waterfall, whatever. Or they would give you a prescription for the herbs, to eat the herbs, or they would tell you, come for surgery, or go sit in the current rooms, which was the meditation rooms. They call it kurenche, current rooms. They were like radiation rooms that you would go sit there for 8 hours a day being radiated by divine energy to get healed. Meditation. So I'm there for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and a couple of times I got the waterfall permission, and then by the 3rd week, I ran out of my waterfall allowance, and I took a moment, I looked inside, and this is like on a Saturday, and I want to go and use the waterfall. And my other friends I say, hey, do you want to go to the waterfall? And to one of my friends, and she said, no, I ran out of my permission. I finished my allowance. And hey, do you want to go? Another friend, no, I don't have it. I ran out. And then I just looked inside and I just checked, and I was like, I'm a holy man. I have respect for the spirit, and I'm the master of myself. And I looked, and my inner being gave me permission to go to the waterfall. At that moment, I realized I no longer need somebody to tell me whether I'm allowed to go to the waterfall or not. I'm looking at within myself, and the God within me, the master inside me, is already giving me permission. So I started going to the waterfall without getting any more permission. I permitted myself. This was no disrespect, but I realized in that moment I have spiritually matured enough that I don't need someone else's permission to tell me what to do. There was another time, I don't know where I was, what country, or I was sitting with a few people, and they were holding me very high, and they were younger, and they had seen my videos. I don't know, I was in Norway, Sweden, I don't know what country I was in, but I'm just with these younger people. They had seen me at the expo, so they were looking at me like the guru, the shaman, this great Zarathustra. We're hanging out. It's an evening. They invited me to this event, and I'm there, and there is a bottle of vodka or tequila there, and there's a pack of cigarettes. So I said, hey, do you mind if I pour myself a drink? And so they said, oh, yeah, please. And then I said, can I take one of these cigarettes? So I take a cigarette, I light it up, and I'm having a drink. I'm just relaxing. And all of a sudden, I noticed that the vibe changed. And they got nervous. And they're looking at me differently of, oh my God, this is a holy man. And how in the world is having a drink and smoking a cigarette? Now, I don't really smoke cigarettes. I may smoke 1 cigarette a month or 2 cigarettes a month when I feel like it. So I don't consider myself a smoker. But in the meantime, I don't consider myself, I need to explain myself to anybody because I'm free. So I'm here, sitting there. I want to have a drink and I want to smoke. I'm an adult. Now, if you drink the whole bottle of tequila and you smoke 5 packs of cigarettes, you're going to feel like shit. Or you may have a problem. Does this mean you're not holy enough? Does this mean that you're not conscious enough? Does this mean that you have not gone through God realization? What I'm saying is once you realize yourself, you know out of the wisdom that's available to you is what is right for you and what is wrong for you. You don't necessarily have to do it in front of people, but what is right or wrong for general public, if you have awakened and you're conscious, that rule does not apply to you anymore because you're operating from wisdom. Is it making any sense to you? You know what is right for you and you know what it's not.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because also there's no story with it. You know, I have a good friend I was very close to. I mean, we're still bros. But every time he would have a drink or had a cigarette with a drink, and he wasn't an alcoholic or a cigarette smoker. And again, I don't care. He would have a drink or have 2 cigarettes smoked. The next day, he was beating himself up. oh, I'm so angry at myself. I had a couple drinks last night and I smoked 2 cigarettes and I feel like shit and I'm such an asshole and I'm so unconscious. Every single time he did this, he would beat himself up the next day, all day. And I was like, remember of what Osho used to say, if you're going to be smoking cigarettes, your cigarette, you smoke 20, 40 cigarettes a day, be total with it. Be total. Then smoke your cigarette. Don't go mindfuck afterwards that I shouldn't. Be one with it. Be who you are. Smoke your cigarette. But don't go after a couple hours beat yourself up while you did it. Enjoy it when you're doing it, whether it's good or bad. Whether it's good for you or it's bad for you. You only know if something's good for you or bad for you. You always know if something's good for you or not. If it's good to you, it's good for you. If it makes something feel better and good, and the next day you wake up and you feel good, then it's good for you. Whatever that is. We have the general rules that are written, the code of conducts of morality, because it's written for millions of people. But when wisdom comes in and you become a master of yourself and a master of your own mind, you don't need permission because you're mature enough to know what's right and what's wrong. And that's what the mystery school is about. It teaches you to have the wisdom and the maturity of knowing what's right and what's wrong. And quite often, that requires spending time and being the environment of an awakened field. Being around, Papaji always used to say, surround yourself with the wise men. He did, with the wise ones. Surround yourself with the wise ones. And this has been working forever. It's like, you know, how many times your parents are telling you or your parents are concerned about you not hanging out with the right friends? Don't hang out with bad friends. They're going to get you into trouble. You know, they're going to, you know, you're teenagers. You want to go steal a car. You want to go break into a market and steal some chocolate. Or they get you into trouble, drinking, smoking, whatever. Or they take you to a brothel or something like that happen. But if you're surrounded with friends, they're athletic, they're into exercising, they're into a lot of positive stuff, you're in that environment, and you want to work out, you want to look better, you want to take care of yourself, you want to go to bed early and get up in the morning and enjoy your day, versus being in an environment which is, it's all about drinking, doing drugs, partying, staying up till 5 in the morning. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying, like, it's all environment. So now answering your second question, okay? Yes, I know everything is myself. Yes, I don't see separation any longer. I don't live in separation. My experience, it's all one. But in the apparent life, the life that appears to be in separation, I cannot behave. I cannot have a behavior of the oneness in the appearance of the world. So if I ride my motorcycle to a shabby area and park it there, I'm going to lock it up because I don't want it to get stolen, even though I know the thief is myself. But I still have to act like it's not. If somebody I don't know comes and tells me, hey, loan me $5,000, I just met them a week ago, I am not going to loan them $5,000. I don't know these people. I don't know if I get my money back or not. Most probably not. But if I've known someone for 30 years and I know of their character, most probably I'll get my money back. So even though I know this person who's in a desperate situation is my own self, but I still have to act as if I am living in a world of separation, because that's the experience. But inside, that illusion is no longer there.
But in the meantime, say you meet somebody, or you don't meet somebody, you know somebody for a few years, or it's a new person, and there's a, you know, they're going through a hard time, but then you just don't want to be. First of all, the environment is not healthy, and but then you feel bad if you're not there for them, and then there's guilt.
Yeah, guilt comes. Yeah, I mean, I've had people that they were very toxic. They were going through a really hard time, but there was a moment I realized they're drama queens. This is a type of a situation, and no matter how much I help them, they're just sucking my energy. I had students, people who followed me, that I had to cut them off at one point. I literally had to tell them, I don't want to see you anymore, and don't contact me or don't come to my academy. I just don't want to see you anymore. I had to kick him out of my life because all it was a toxic, all they gave me was toxicity. And I just had to say no. Even though maybe,
That's what's happening.
yeah, I mean, maybe there's a lot of people that they really need my help. But I can't run around helping people all over the world. I also have to make a living. I also have to take care of myself, and I have to be loving to my family. And I always telling my friends, I say, look, I'm not Mother Teresa. That was her role. My role is this. So I will help anybody that they come on my path to the best of my ability, to the point I'm capable of doing it. And in that path, sometimes you have to deny. Sometimes you just have to say no and move on. Because you have to remember, you're not responsible. It's God's doing. The one that has created this universe, the one who's running this world, the one who's turning night to day, day to night, the one who's feeding all the vegetations in the world, the one who was here before you were born and is going to be here after you die, that is what's responsible. Now, do I go out of my way and help people? Yes, I do. But to a certain point, if it becomes toxic and damaging then I don't. I leave it to God. I let God takes care of it. Because you have to remember, it's also the ego. There's this ego that comes in and kicks in. So you have to be careful.
We say like it's the journey to the heart, though. Isn't the heart about being loving too? Like it's confusing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said it last.
You want to be in a place where the environment is healthy, and you go into that space of solitude because sometimes you just need. I need it. I need it. It's not because I'm depressed or because it's chaotic. It's just I find that I need to have quiet, to be quiet. So then I go into my place. But then, okay, you're love. Then you want to be loving. Then it's like, then it becomes like.
Well, is it superficial loving? Like you've read it somewhere and someone has told you?
You care, but
yes.
At the same time, they're very dramatic.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes, and it's like it freaking drains me.
I really care. I really care for my family and I love them. But most of the time there's a drama going on. Okay, so what do? Leave my life here and go live somewhere I don't want to live and be miserable like the rest of them because I care, or honor myself, honor my heart, and follow my own calling, yet I'm available energetically and I check on them. So I'm honoring myself. Because if I don't honor myself and don't take care of myself, my own energy, I can't be available for anybody. Because then I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be relating to my family or community, but coming from anger because I have resentments. I don't really want to be here because they're assholes, or they suck your energy, or they're not grateful. It's dramatic. So I'm staying hanging in there, and now I have resentments. I'm angry. Or I honor myself, not being narcissist, not being selfish, but honor myself, my space. So I'm not angry now. And now I can make myself available from a very loving and clear place. Which one serves better? In my opinion, this serves better. This serves better me. I'm not saying this serves better you. You have to go through what you have to go through, which you are going through now, to recognize certain things. This is part of your path right now. But I promise you, it's going to come to a point that you're just going to say no. It's going to come to a point that you're just going to say no. Because they've sucked your energy so much, they've drained you so much, that then something inside you, the lioness, will arise. You're not there yet. But there's going to be a point that the lioness, the fire will come out of you. And it's my job to bring that fire out of you. That this powerful being comes and says, no.
It's supposed to be like the pendulum. Like this is like now going with the yo-yoing, no?
Yes.
Then there's aggression, then there's aggression.
Yes. But that doesn't mean somebody did something very stupid on Saturday night. I was somewhere and this guy did something super stupid. I wanted to kill him. I literally wanted to kill him. And if my buddy wasn't there, maybe I would have killed him, because he did such a stupid thing that fire came out of me. I mean, this giant came outside of me. Violence was coming out of me. Like, I literally wanted to strangle this idiot. And thank God my friend was there. Does it make me less spiritual, less conscious? I got sensations. And I can get angry and annoyed and frustrated and impatient. But awareness is still there. I'm still aware that I'm angry. I'm still aware that I'm frustrated. But recognition of this wisdom doesn't mean you can manipulate it. You're still going to react the way of your programming, but the awareness is there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know it's a little bit confusing right now. I know I said certain things the other day, and now you're hearing this, and you're trying to figure it out. I get it. I see your and you're doing beautifully, Shadi. Hang in there. It's all gonna make sense. It's all gonna come to you. You're close. Hang in there. It's all gonna come. This is a part of the process that is very frustrating. There is no black and white answer to mysticism. It's somewhere in between, and you find that. Because the mind wants to understand it. Should I be?
When you say, well, yeah, but sometimes, like right now, when you said don't start reading too many things about other whatever, but then everything that you're saying, you refer back to Papaji's saying. And so that's a knowing, or that's knowledge, but then you have your own knowing that comes then that's separate from that.
Well, I'm pointing out and what the master taught me, and eventually I understood what he was saying. Eventually it became my own understanding. He was pointing out to this and that. When he said that for an awakened being, there is no more, they have arisen above morality. He wasn't giving me a license to become a child pedophile or go hit on my best friend's wife. He wasn't telling me, or go steal something in a store. He wasn't telling me, or kill someone. He was saying it comes to a point that you know what is right and what is wrong. You know it in your heart, in the moment. And now I understand it. I understand it, what is right and what is wrong for me. Not what they say what is right or what is wrong. I just feel it. Yeah. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we got 3 days coming on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have time together. And there are exercises we're going to be doing, and there are places that I want to take you to, that this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be able to, because of the academy, it's general. And at the workshop, online workshop, I have the opportunity to direct you and take you to this place and show you, which it requires time. I have to prepare you in the beginning, and then things going to start clicking. And you're already in, so we're going to have time together. Just hang in there.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, my dears? Well, nice to see you all. Some of you I'm going to be seeing on Friday. We have this online workshop. It's called Return to the Infinite Wisdom. And I'm excited that finally we're back to be able to offer some online workshops. And in June, we're going to have our retreat in Sweden. I'm really excited about that one because I really miss sitting together. And I'm personally not so much of an online type of a person who likes to do things on working. Like right now I'm going to Spanish school, and they offered me online school, and I said no. I want to come to school. And it's interesting because one thing I realized, every time I go to my school, and it's 2 hours, I go like 3-4 days a week, but every time I go there and I sit with my teacher, I can literally see that my Spanish goes into another level every single time. Like when I leave, I can babble things and I can understand things better, and something, I mean, when I'm there, I feel overloaded. It's like the information comes. There's been a few times that I thought to myself, my God, I'm never going to learn this language. And I'm sometimes frustrated, or I want to cry. Because right there, it's like, I'm not getting it. Or sometimes I come home and I don't study for 3-4 days. And after 4 days, all of a sudden, everything clicks. As if I memorized 20 new words, and they're all, I know them suddenly. So for me, there is something like being in person, coming together in person. Something shifts. And that's why I'm excited about seeing us and having this opportunity, because I don't know, am I going to be alive next year? Are you going to be around next year? Is the world going to allow us to do something like this again? I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainties. So I don't want to miss and postpone this to another time. This is an opportunity to do it, and I'm going for it. Can it just everything cancel in the last minute? Can they just come and say, hey, there's a new something and you can't come to the country? Yeah, there's no guarantees. But I'm taking the chance. I'm willing to go for it and see what happens. Yeah, if they blow it up, I lose. I would suffer financially, but I'm taking the chances because something deep inside me says yes. And I'm excited because this year, I loved it when I was teaching the healing training program. People are asking me, are you going to teach any healing? And I say no, because I don't want them to kind of come and say, oh, well, you promised you do. But of course, when we're there in that environment for 1 week, healing shamanism is going to come out. Of course, it's going to happen. I just don't want to commit to it because I like it when it happens spontaneously. Not expecting it. Not like, oh, we're in the environment. We're going to be together. We're going to dance. We're going to do third eye activation. We're going to do a lot of different things. Baram Ji is going to be there and playing this unbelievable Sufi music. And we're all gonna go into that space. And we're all going to be 1 week in this bubble that is conducive. It's created that you don't need to worry about cooking. You don't have to worry about cleaning your room. Nothing. All you do is we come together and we are working on elevating our vibrations to fifth dimension. And that's what I love about this place. And the nature, going on long hikes, giving you an opportunity to reflect, giving you a moment to get away and just kind of dive in, or go to the steam room, steam it out, or go to the stream, the river down there, and jump in the water. So the environment is perfect. I love it. And the people who are organizing it, they're putting it together. The food we serve, because I've been doing it for 4 years, this is the 5th year, and we made it very clear, like the food is organic, it's healthy. We're trying to avoid gluten as much as we can. We're trying to have our breakfast and lunch very easy, not heavy. Dinner could be heavy, but lunches are definitely light. So we don't eat lunch and then whoop, go down. So, and these people know what I want because I've been there a few years. So it's like, I love it. I love it. It's just, this is the masterpiece of all of my workshops. And it's designed for enlightenment, designed for self-realization. This is it. So I look forward to this. Feel free to contact me if you have questions. Oh, by the way, one thing I wanted to say, I haven't announced it yet, but we will have a Shaman Day in Ore. So I think it's going to be on Friday, the 11th is going to be the Shaman Day. So I'm going to be putting it in my website. So if you want to bring any kind of costumes, shamanic clothing, if you want to bring a rattle or a little drum and any kind of paint like the previous years. So, and then we're all going to be dressed up, and then we're going to incorporate the spirit of the shaman to come inside, and then we do some rituals, shamanic rituals, and then in the afternoon I will be showing you some ways for shamanic healing. So, but I haven't put this in my website. I will be putting it, but that's also something we're going to be doing. Okay, cool. If anybody wants to write to me, my email is info@zarathustra.tv. My website is zarathustra.tv. If you want to sign up for any of the 2 events, go ahead and do that. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Also, we have 2 different people, Annelie in Sweden and Hilde in Norway. So you're welcome to contact them directly if you want to talk to them, and they'll give you information. And my social media pages are Zarathustra 5D. I want to thank you for joining me, sending you my love. I look forward to seeing you. Hi, Annelie, there you are. Hi, you showed up. Hi, we can see you. Annelie is right now in actually Akumal, which is very close to Tulum. Hi, Annelie, you want to say hello? You have to unmute yourself. No, you don't want to say hello?
Yes, I want to say hello, and I hope that a lot of the also the old people was joining us in Oregon. Contact me if you want to come to Aura.
You're gonna have to get a little closer to your microphone. We can't hear you.
You hear me now? Maybe it's not good. I don't know. You don't hear me.
I can hear you.
You hear me? I say welcome to the all people who have joined us in Aura before, and I also welcome the new one. And it's going to be really nice to see you again after so many years. It felt a really long time since we see each other.
All right.
So it's going to be really nice. And also that, which is told everyone to live here and now, how important it is. So we should take this time now to meet you in Aura.
All right.
I really miss Aura and miss you.
Well, nice to see you. And I will call you after I'm done with the academy, okay? All right. Okie dokie. All right. Thanks for showing up. Nice seeing you all. Namaste. And see you on Friday. Look forward to it. Much love. All right. Those of you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, I want to thank you for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you. Much love. Bye-bye.